So this is your basic electrical circuit. An electrical circuit, you will have a voltage source, which most likely usually is going to be a battery. Your battery is kind of like your water pump and your water analogy, but instead of pumping water through this circuit, in an electrical circuit, the battery is used to actually pump electrons through this entire circuit. The battery is then connected to a switch by a copper wire, and this switch kind of acts like your valve in your water analogy. So if the switch is open, then there is actually no electrons that are actually flowing through the circuit, so your circuit is said to be an open circuit. But if the switch is closed, then electrons are actually able to flow through this circuit, and your circuit is then said to be called a short circuit. The switch is then connected to a resistor, which we're going to label with an R for now. But the purpose of the resistor is kind of like the water wheel and the water analogy. And if you remember, the water wheel was used to resist or to limit or to regulate the water flow back into the water tank in this circuit. So in an electrical circuit, a resistor is used to limit or to resist or to regulate the amount of electrons that are actually flowing within this circuit. At the bottom of the resistor, it is connected to the bottom of the battery, and that is connected to a reference point called ground. Ground is the point of the circuit where the voltage is equal to 0. An important thing to remember about an electrical circuit is that the electrons that are actually flowing within this electrical circuit can be called an electric current. An electric current is measured in amps and can be labeled with an I. We also said that the battery is the voltage source. Well, voltage is measured in volts and is labeled with the V. And then finally we have a resistor, which is a specific resistance. Resistance is measured in ohms and can be labeled with an R. These three parameters are going to be very important for you to learn if you actually want to get into electrical engineering. They're, some of the most fundamental units of electrical engineering, so get used to them now. Also, the resistor in this electrical circuit could have been replaced with a light bulb or a fan. They all work under the same concept of reducing or restricting the amount of electrons or the amount of current that is actually flowing through this electrical circuit. So inside of a light bulb, you have a piece of wire called a filament. Whenever electrons are actually flowing through this piece of wire or this filament, the electrons begin to collide with the atoms inside the filament. This filament then begins to get really, really hot, and it gets so hot that it starts to glow and starts to emit or provide a light. This is how you get light from light bulbs. So if there was a light bulb here, the more voltage that a battery can supply, then the brighter this light bulb is going to get. Kind of like the same thing from the water analogy. The more the pump can actually pump more water, then that means that the faster this water wheel is going to turn.